championship season so far has Eli Tomac in front by 93. Ken Roczen has amassed 89 points, and Marvin Musquin has picked up 74 points to sit in the number 3 spot in the series. I will start the questions off. One for Eli Tomac. Moto number 1, we've seen a lot of this in your career. It doesn't look like maybe it's going to come your way, and then all of a sudden you find, one of the announcers said your bike must have 7 gears in it because you found another one today and were able to make up quite a bit of time. What was that first moto like for you?
Going through my head, it was the start of it was reminding me of Hangtown, and you know, it's like all the good guys were in the front, and I was kind of hanging out in 5th or 6th or whatever it was, and I just got kind of angry in my head and started pinning it after that halfway point there in that first one. So I felt a lot better this week though. Like my body felt better just through the moto. I don't know what it was last week, but just overall better riding, and was able to make the way to the front there.
Ken Roczen, moto number 1 was very good to you, and then obviously was it tightness or was it a bike setup? What do you think it was that allowed Eli to come up to you?
Yeah, I definitely was fighting the bike a little bit, in the beginning you can kind of manage, but on a track like today, it's not necessarily my favorite in general, but I made a couple of big mistakes actually that cost me big time, where I slid out and almost crashed, and obviously Eli was on it, so I had to make a couple of bike adjustments there for the second moto that I wish I would have had maybe in the first moto, but anyway, we grabbed a good start, and I tried to do the best that I could. I wasn't feeling ideal on the track, but we managed it, and it's a long season, so I'm pretty happy with today.
Marvin Musquin, your afternoon. Take us through a little bit about what you would have liked in the first moto, because your second moto was very solid.
Coming from Hangtown and a rough week with only just a little bit of riding on Thursday and then Friday, I just have not much expectation, but I just wanted to obviously get back to my full potential and my full technique and riding, and that was the case. I just felt decent and wanted to be consistent all day, and my starts were good and put myself in pretty good position. In the first moto, I was right there. Kind of got lucky when the guys in front of me made some mistakes, and I went to second pretty quick, and trying to charge and trying to catch Kenny, and that's what I did. But unfortunately, I never made it happen and never passed him, and got third on that moto. So a little bit of a bummer, but the second moto, I got a great start. I was running up front and got second. It was just a very consistent moto. So I'm glad to be back on the podium, and the riding was pretty good.
First question from Guy B. from Vital.
Marv, talk about the crash that you had at Hangtown and how much that affected you during the week, this week, and also here.
Well, it was a big crash. I thought I was just gonna skip one day or something on riding, but I actually skipped pretty much the whole week. So. Kenny was right behind me when I crashed, and during practice he came up to me and he says, "Dude, are you okay?" Because he saw the crash. But anyway, it happened, and you got to deal with that. And then I tried my best and try to salvage some points on the weekend, and then this week try to get better and try to be as good as I could and be competitive on the weekend, and that's what happened. So actually, when I was riding, I felt pretty good. Obviously, right now I'm pretty sore, but as long as I'm good on the bike, it's a good thing, So looking forward to a good week of training and moving forward.
Next question.
Jason from Racer X. Eli, a lot of your moto wins came late in the races last year, then you did that again today. Do you feel you get faster as the race goes on, or are you just maintaining the same pace when everybody else maybe has a little bit of drop off in a long race? What do you think the difference is there?
The first moto, I just rode better in the second half of the race. Like I had a couple better lines and just kind of loosened up. That's what was different from the week before. It was like last week in the first moto after halfway, I tightened up and went backwards. So First one was just improvement. Second one, I felt like it was just more maintained, and just had some good lines going. Had a good feel. Like it was just a good feeling ride.
For all of you guys, I think a lot of the riders were worried to be hard to pass because the lines funneled to the inside. Was that the case here, or as the day went on, did it seem like you could find other things to do, or was it pretty much there was one good race line? How did that turn out today?
I mean, in general, I thought it was a little bit of both. Some of the stuff definitely funneled into one spot. Like, it started out actually too muddy, like to where we kind of rode the side of the tracks, like on the big fast straightaway. Like we were just kind of riding the edge for the most part. So that took a while to really get decent. So there was a little bit of both. I mean, you can make stuff happen, but it wasn't like the best case scenario.
Well, for me, I can say it was hard to pass because I never passed Kenny the first moto, but actually it was some sections where we could pass. There is some like roller sections where there was like two options, and that's what we like to see. Maybe some of the corners, like after the start, that right-hander and left-hander, everybody was kind of going to the same line. But other than that, in the fast sections, there was a couple options. Going up the hills, that dirt over there was not really good. It was, it was so rocky, so hard, and then you get a little bit of a berm building up, and then it's gone the next lap. So you really had to be careful up there. I knew it was going to be like that. With the pro day we did that Tuesday, it was pretty hard up there. It was difficult, and today was the same. But overall, it was a good track. There were some good sections, like high-speed sections and technical sections. I'm glad they fixed some of the stuff, like before the finish, they fixed a little bit so the dirt was better and we're able to be a little bit creative and getting better traction. It was a little bit more fun right there.
Marvin, in the first moto, I think you tried one of those outsides at the top of the hill when you were in second, and that's where Eli got you. Is that the case of like, I'm in second, I got to be aggressive, but I can't block either, or was it the dirt or the berm that got you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Eli was laughing at me when I went outside. Obviously, I was trying to make it happen on Kenny, and actually that outside kind of worked maybe on Friday or maybe in the morning, but I went out there in that first moto, and I was kind of like, I didn't know what to expect going into the outside. It was kind of blowing out, and Eli got me. So, yeah, it's hard when you try to pass the guy in front of you, and you try different lines, and you get past at the end. So, anyway, I tried. Didn't work out. But we kind of want to see some outside lines that kind of work, so you have different options, and it's good for racing, but didn't really happen on the weekend. Today.
For Kenny, during that second moto especially, talking about the dirt on the hill and stuff, a lot of guys were, a gear high coming down that downhill jump and stuff, like lugging off of the thing. Can you talk a little bit about how you can balance your desire to want to pin it? Because Eli, he was lugging off it too, but he always landed like wide open, and a lot of you other guys were a lot more smooth over it. So that being able to manage your being in a hurry, but staying off the gas and sort of taking what the track will give you.
Yeah, throttle control. That side of the track back there was a lot more. It was kind of a little bit more like clay type track, and it was really hard underneath. And in my second start, I didn't start that great either, and I had to make a few passes. And I never experimented with different lines either, because I was kind of too scared. Kind of like with Marvin. You try an outside and it costs you, because I think we were all really tight there for a minute too, and so I kind of stuck to my line. And on the very before we go downhill where those rollers were, that right-hander, it's pretty crazy how rough and hard it was in the rut there. So it was this track was very challenging, as in you have the bottom of the track that some really high-speed sections, and mixed kind of sandy dirt with a hard base, and you had a lot of rocks on the other side, a lot of up and downhill with some rollers, some fast spots. I mean, we had a bit of everything on this track for sure.
For Kenny, you won last week, which was a big deal, but we didn't see a massive celebration. It was more like, hey, we have 12 races to get through. Does that help when you get third today to not have a letdown of, if I don't win every race, I'm not going to be super upset? Because you weren't too high last week.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, it's a championship mentality, and I just want to do my thing. Like, for example, I didn't feel that comfortable on the track today ever really, and I just kind of, you know, I'm totally fine with this third place because it's we want to try and be in it for the long run. And in the second moto, like the track got really sketchy and just really fast in some spots. So, and also you got to think, you know, if you're not leading the pack with having that many big rocks, you know, you can very quickly get one to the goggle or onto your hands or fingers, and that's not going to be too fun. So I'm fine with this second and third. Obviously, we want to win, but Eli was on it today, and so was Marvin in the second moto, and it still good to be on the podium.
For Eli, you're obviously the defending champ. You've won 3 motos in a row now, but you know, having lost the first one at Hangtown, which not a lot of people would have predicted that considering your history there. Getting the red plate back, does that mean anything to you at this point, or you know, is it long haul, or was there a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because you're not running with that thing this weekend?
I was just, you know, just happy I was able to you know, get the win on like normal track, right? Last week, the first moto, you know, we had the normal racing surface, and I went backwards halfway. I'm like, it's kind of like scratching my head, like, you know, what the heck's going on? So this week is just like it was big for me mentally to be able to go do it on our normal dirt.
Next question from the media. I believe that was the final question. Gentlemen, congratulations on filling up the podium once again. We look forward to seeing all of you in Colorado. Folks, we hope you guys make the drive over to Colorado. It'll be round number 3 of the Lucas Oil Motocross Championships. Have a safe ride home, and thank you very much for attending here today.